In the soft glow of twilight, where shadows sway in an enchanting dance and whispers of the unknown fill the air, I invite you to embark on a journey that transcends the boundaries of the familiar. Step into the mysterious realm of How to Awaken the Solar Plexus by Elizabeth Towne, an auditory experience that will carry you far beyond the limits of ordinary reality. At the core of this narration lies the Solar Plexus, a powerful and mystical energy center nestled at the very heart of your being. With her eloquent prose and timeless wisdom, Elizabeth Towne gently guides us through the veils of mystery, unveiling secrets that have remained hidden in the shadows for generations. Imagine a reality where the impossible meets the imaginable, where the mind is an endless sea of potential, and the solar plexus serves as the gateway to uncharted realms. As the story unfurls, immerse yourself in a world where the mundane dissolves into magic, where ancient wisdom merges with the awe of the unknown. Prepare to break free from the limitations of conventional thought. Through words that resonate like ancient incantations, this text leads you on a journey of self-discovery, unlocking the dormant power of your solar plexus and revealing the extraordinary abilities within. Dare to open your perception and invite the magic of the unseen into your daily life. The enigma calls, and Elizabeth Towne beckons you to uncover the hidden truths that lie deep within. Welcome to a voyage where the fantastical and the mystical entwine, awakening the solar plexus that slumbers within us all. Chapter 1. I Am the Son of God. If you yearn above all else to live a serene, useful and successful life, if you wish to break free from the narrow confines of conformity, far from the pain of sin and sickness, far from the minor wounds of daily life, and if you truly want to escape it all, are you ready to work for the salvation that lies within you? Or would you rather stay still, grumbling at the universe in general and everyone in particular? Do you long for health and prosperity, happiness and greater usefulness, willing to work every day and all day to achieve them, as a person striving to become a great musician, artist or scholar would? Or do you faintly hope someone will carry you on beds of ease to a heaven of bliss, and have you resolved to attain health, happiness and material prosperity while becoming more widely useful, no matter the cost or time required? If so, then you shall have them. Without a doubt, you will achieve them. You could not fail even if you tried, and I am with you every step of the way, already there at the same time. And I will tell you something that has been immensely helpful to me in getting there. It was the sun. Shelton says the sun is God. It wouldn't be surprising if he were right, though I'm not sure he is. However, the sun has helped me know myself, my wise, loving, powerful, and serenely happy self. Your being is just as great as mine, and you will surely find it once you begin. The reason you haven't found it yet is that you've spent most of your time observing the selves of others, been impolite to yourself, consulted every Tom, Dick, and Harry before your own being, and called yourself all sorts of names. No wonder it withdrew into its shell and pulled the hole closed behind it. No wonder you think it doesn't know much, but it does, and it will do everything for you if you treat it with a bit of courtesy. Be educated and respectful toward your being. Tell it that, after all, it's a good guy, the best friend you have. Ask it for advice, use it, and let it do things for you. All it wants is recognition, and it will do anything you wish better than anyone else could do for you. The sun helped me know my being intimately. It will help you too. Have you ever thought about how much the sun and the sun resemble each other? Jesus was the Son of God. For years I studied the life of that Son, trying to be like him. My success was uneven, but one day, suddenly, it occurred to me, I am the Son of God. It was a glorious idea that seized me and literally transformed me through the renewal of my mind. That's the thing about ideas. Give them a home, and they'll turn you into an entirely new house, a house not built by hands. I Am the Son of God transformed me completely in a short time. I'll share with you some of the changes it brought about in me. I used to be highly sensitive, so much so that more than half the time I didn't know what I was thinking, and my feelings were always getting hurt. Though usually too proud to show it, I was desperately trying to master my emotions and avoid letting them harm me. But success neither crowned my efforts nor even glanced at my banner. Eventually, I grew tired of indulging my feelings. I told them indignantly to stay hurt until they'd had enough and gave up. They grew weary and surrendered. The sun warmed my feelings and made them joyful forever. This is the way, I told myself. If I am the son of good, then my sole reason for being is simply to radiate, to shine, to send out good thoughts. Now, you see, this is precisely where I had made a fundamental mistake. I had always tried to be a moon instead of a sun. The moon is cold, dark, barren, receptive. It reflects light from afar. I had spent all that time receiving everything, the ideas and opinions of others, even all kinds of wounds from them. And as if that wasn't enough, every day I begged God to give me the Holy Spirit, not to mention 10 other favors I requested from Him, as well as from others. All the while, I was truly a son. The Son of God, created solely to emit rather than to receive, has life in itself, just as the Father has life in Himself. To completely overcome all that sensitivity, all I had to do was remind myself, when my feelings were hurt, that I am a sun made to shine, not a moon made to receive wounds from the outside. Every human being is literally a son of good, made to radiate, if they dedicate themselves strictly to sending out goodwill, just as the sun sends out its rays. Suppose that every time someone on this planet grumbled against the old sun, it shrank back into itself and stopped emitting its rays. If I were as sensitive as most people, that's what I would do. But the sun is too wise a god for that. It focuses strictly on its own duty to shine so positively that it radiates not only upon the righteous who appreciate its light, but joyfully shines on the unjust who grumble in return. Its positivity is such that it blesses even the old sun, which never feels a single grumble. Its light simply meets the grumble and transmutes it before it can touch the sun. The reason why the unpleasant words of those around us hurt us is that we forget to shine. The inner sun exists within us. The solar plexus, or sun, is a great nerve center located behind the stomach. When this central sun, where all the body's nerves originate, is in its natural state, it constantly emits real energy, just as the sun does. This energy vibrates along the nerve pathways and body channels to the surface in all directions, through both the mucous membranes and the outer skin, radiating into an actual atmosphere always present around the body. If the radiation of the solar plexus is sufficiently positive, the influence of another person cannot disrupt its constant and harmonious vibrations in any way. A person who radiates so positively exerts immense power for the good of those less positive than themselves. Their mere presence, without a word spoken or even a directed thought, soothes the troubled minds they come into contact with. Every human being who has not yet learned the law of being. The solar plexus can fall into a restricted state that impedes the constant flow of life or nervous ether to all parts of the body. From this cause arises every ailment of the human race, mental, physical, or environmental. All feelings are due to the action or inaction of this solar center. Good sensations come from free action, bad sensations from restricted action. Pleasant feelings are caused by the flow of nervous ether, the energy of life, while unpleasant sensations result from an interruption of the constant flow. In every human being there is a constant radiation of life, love, or goodwill from the solar plexus, except when the individual interrupts this radiation by contracting the solar plexus, thus reducing or completely halting the flow, as happens in death. A continual contraction of the nerves creates a chronic state of nervous collapse. The nerves literally collapse like a soft tube from which liquid is drawn out. Nerves are tubes for transporting life to all parts of the body. Contract the solar plexus and you withdraw life from the body. The solar plexus is the point where life is born, where the uncreated becomes created, the disorganized becomes organized, the unconscious becomes conscious, and the invisible appears. That which has no dimensions becomes measurable. There is no limit to the amount of life this solar center in an individual can generate, nor to the speed at which it can be generated. However, this omnipotent solar center is a blind generator of energy, almighty but not intelligent in any higher sense. The solar plexus is a servant of the brain. It generates no more life, meaning it does not make visible more energy than what the brain of God on high dictates. Every tiny contraction and expansion of the solar center of life obeys the brain. No lighter whim of the brain is left unanswered by the solar plexus. I understood why and how every idle word shall be accounted for, and how one will be rewarded according to the deeds done in the flesh. What I sowed in imagination, I will surely reap in the body. What I sowed in thought I am reaping now. Conscious thought is the master of the solar center from which the life of your body flows, and the quality of your body, including your brain, determines the quality of your environment. You are your own master, the arbiter of your own destiny. Now you see why a sensitive person continually hurts themselves. They think they are a moon instead of a sun, receiving words, tones, or actions from others that disturb them. They contract the solar center within themselves, halting their radiation of goodwill. It is the cessation of their own radiation of life or goodwill that they feel, not the thing that was said or done. And they alone are the master of this radiant sun within. Therefore he hurts himself. I discovered this through real experience and demonstrated the fact that no one on earth has the power to hurt my feelings by studying the action of the true sun and reminding myself that I am God's son. I quickly learned the art and acquired the habit of shining in what I do, and you can too. Chapter 2. Our Lord God is a consuming fire. Have you ever noticed that the sun makes no special effort to destroy what is not useful to life? The same constant radiance that gives life to the growing plant causes fermentation, death, and transmutation of everything separated from the source of its life. As soon as I learned that I am God's son, I knew I didn't need to make a special effort to destroy evil or the carnal mind. I saw that I only needed to shine like the old sun, and my radiation would transmute the mind, body, and environment. This realization brought me infinite relief. I understood that all the good I had struggled so hard to force within myself was already mine, if only I let my light shine to ripen it. I also discovered that letting my light shine is a matter of choice, not feeling, so I chose to let the light shine from my solar center and surrendered to this radiation. I no longer worry about evil thoughts or actions. I simply let the sun shine on them. I realized that Jesus of Nazareth had extraordinary wisdom. He tells us not to resist evil. It is the height of wisdom. I had often pondered this commandment at length without grasping its philosophy, and I simply could not obey it. Why? Because I am good, and by the constraint of my own law, I must always be opposed to evil. If I know no better way to rid myself of evil than to fight it, then I must fight. But the more I fight, the more evil will grow. Finally, in utter despair, I may stand still and reflect when I see that innocence will prevail, where resistance is worse than failure. Now you understand why this is so. The solar plexus is the radiating center of life, the center from which divine energy and love flow, capable of overcoming and triumphing over all evil. We can overcome evil with good. We can love our enemies and convert them into friends. We can overcome them, that is, cause them to pass away. Remember, love is not a sentimental impulse, nor is it a matter of words. It is a constant radiation of goodwill from the solar center. It may or may not express itself through words or actions, but it will do so as needed by the enemy. Whether it is expressed or not, this constant and silent radiation of goodwill or love transmutes enemies into friends, evil into good, as surely as the sun's rays purify what was impure. What is needed is simply to let the solar center constantly radiate goodwill until we understand and take control of ourselves. Every thought that passes through the mind influences the action of the solar plexus. Pleasant thoughts cause the center to open and radiate goodwill or love. Unpleasant thoughts cause the center to contract, thus shutting off the flow of goodwill, love, and life to the body, brain, and environment. Non-resistant thought expands the solar plexus. Resistant thought contracts it. Understand now what a great scientist Jesus was. He said, "Do not resist evil. If someone forces you to go 1 mile, willingly go 2. Let your goodwill radiate, and when you've completed the 2nd mile, their solar plexus will vibrate in harmony with yours, and both of you will be wiser and more loving for the journey. It will depend on how you respond to their invitation or command. You could go begrudgingly, asserting your own righteousness and their injustice, in which case they will have conquered you, and you will have obeyed the letter but not the spirit of Jesus' command. Or you could cloak yourself in an atmosphere of martyrdom, which is certainly a very thin covering, and go because it's your duty to do a heap of unpleasant things you'd rather not do. This is the attitude many women adopt toward their husbands and children. They walk 1 mile or even 2 or 3 with raised eyebrows, pursed lips, an air of self-righteousness, and a loudly proclaimed humility. All of this causes the neglectful husband or children to take their time. For a while, they may think they've committed the unpardonable sin and rush to humble themselves and correct their ways. But eventually, they grow hardened, and the last state is worse than the first. It's not so much about what is done, but how it's done. I've said that before we understand and take control of ourselves, Every thought that passes through the mind expands or contracts the solar center of being. We must learn to control the action of the solar plexus in the same way we learn to control the action of our fingers when learning to play the piano. Through deliberate thought and attentive practice, anyone can play the piano if they wish, and anyone can learn self-control if they truly want it. And when they truly want it, they will achieve it. Until then, it's better to leave them alone, just as a person prefers to let their solar plexus drift like a buoy on a stormy day, recording all the foolish, thoughtful, or malicious things their neighbor might say. Why not let it drift? Eventually, they'll tire and begin to control themselves and their feelings. No one can do it for them. Practice makes perfect. The person who dedicates more time to practice with faith will accomplish more in less time. The one who spends an hour each day practicing concentration exercises, but lives the rest of their time in resentment and resistance, will not progress half as much as the one who spends little or no time on exercises, but strives to put goodwill into every act and thought throughout the day, every day of the week. Every experience, small or large, is an exercise in developing concentration. You don't need more special hours for development than a cat needs 2 tails. Put your mind and goodwill into what you're doing, and bring them back every time you find them wandering off track. Decide to keep your light shining, your solar center expanded, no matter what happens or how you feel. Of course, you can't do it perfectly on the first try, just as you can't play the piano simply by wishing to. Your hands will fall out of position, and your fingers will insist on acting like thumbs. However, if your mind is determined, you will persevere until you teach your hands to maintain their correct positions and your fingers to strike the keys with grace and accuracy, without conscious thought. It's the same with the solar plexus. With practice, you can teach your solar center to radiate goodwill, no matter what happens outside or inside of you, or how busy your mind might be with other things. That's where I stand, and the door is wide open with welcome written on it. Let your light shine so that men may see your good works. Let your love shine like the sun, and glorify your God, who is the heavens. Chapter 3. Why and how the solar plexus, or solar center, is to the human body, what the visible sun is to the solar system, the source of all life and light. It is the producer of life and light. The sun creates light and heat by inhaling what transcends light and heat. The sun breathes. It inhales spirit and exhales light and heat, an intelligent will. The solar plexus inhales light and heat and exhales magnetism, another form of intelligent will, a more subtle form, a more intelligent and therefore more powerful will, even while being more delicate. If the sun stopped breathing, the solar plexus would have nothing to breathe, and life would cease to manifest. If the sun breathed spasmodically, filling itself only halfway with spirit, there would be a poverty of light and heat. The effects of such poverty can be observed in plants or people confined in dungeons. We are accustomed to believing that humans breathe only with their lungs, but the truth is that they breathe with every cell of their body. Every pore of their body, both inside and out, is a channel for transmitting sunlight and warmth to the body's great laboratory, the solar plexus. The solar plexus is the body's respiratory center, where sunlight and warmth are transmuted into magnetism. All disorders of the human body and brain are caused by the blockage of solar rays before they reach the solar plexus. Anyone who breathes deeply and regularly cannot be sick or mentally weak. Only one thing blocks the breath from reaching the solar center: the closing of the pores outward and inward, caused by a hunched, contracted posture. Slouching and contracting are habits of the human race. Humans have been trained to fear the past, present, and future, themselves and their enemies, not to mention their friends. They've been trained to fear what is outside, what is inside, and even God. No wonder fear is a habit and full breathing is unheard of for most humans. The only problem of the human race is to rid itself of the fears so carefully cultivated over centuries. There's no need to tell the fearless to breathe freely. They do so without thinking about it. As a result, their bodies are large and strong. Every effort of the individual has the sole purpose of freeing them to breathe, inhaling intelligent will, holding it until it rejuvenates every cell and permeates the essence of their being, and then exhaling it as an even more intelligent will for the realization of their purposes. A person breathes intelligent will, concentrates it within themselves, and radiates it in a new and more powerful form. Whoever breathes properly appropriates the intelligence and will of the sun. The freer their breathing, the higher their degree of intelligent will. One who breathes freely acts freely. One who breathes deeply thinks deeply. Only fear inhibits free thought. Only restricted thought hinders free breathing. Free yourself from fear, and you won't need anyone to teach you how to breathe freely. Thought and action are one. Every thought is action, but we are not yet trained to see the subtlest movements of thought. Thus, we say that sometimes thought leads to action, without realizing that all thought is movement, and all movement is thought. One school of thinkers claims that breathing exercises are necessary for a balanced mind and body. Another claims that thought alone is enough, and that breathing will follow. Both are correct, because to breathe is to think, and to think is to breathe. A person cannot breathe without thinking, just as they cannot think without breathing. At the moment the cycle of breath stops, movement ceases. The absence of movement is annihilation. A thought exercise is a breathing exercise. A breathing exercise, or any other type of exercise, is a thought exercise. A well-done exercise is one in which you put as much thought as it can contain. A half-done exercise is one performed without enthusiasm, without intelligence. The former is right thinking. The latter is careless, half-hearted thinking. At a certain point in the animal kingdom, we knew how to breathe. That was before we learned to fear God, to refrain from speaking about ourselves and others. But by thinking with fear, we developed the habit of half-breathing. Half-breathing is a habit of the human race, particularly on the masculine side. The feminine side breathes only a quarter because women were taught to fear more things than men, and also because women are more inclined to learn. Women have learned to shrink and bow. Unsatisfied with that, they bound their feet and hands and chained themselves in straitjackets, the most infernal machine imaginable to compress the solar plexus from radiating outward and extinguish the breath of life. All this must be overcome in the only way possible, by forming new habits of breathing, of thinking. Remember, breathing and thinking are one and the same. That's why I tell you, men and women, but especially women, breathe and keep breathing until you establish the habit of full, free breathing. You who have tried to think of yourselves in the free realm and wonder why you seem to make so little progress, get to work and breathe for your lives. It will help you more than anything else. Precisely the type of thinking we call breathing is what frees us from fear. The weak, the sickly, the timid, these are the ones who do not breathe. Asthmatics, tuberculosis sufferers, and the nervous need to breathe deeply to heal. Yet they are the very ones who do not breathe. If they could stop this pattern, they wouldn't confine themselves to warm, airless rooms, gasping and wheezing, lamenting their fate because they've spent years, perhaps generations, trying to survive without breath. This is their pattern of thought. Well, there is salvation, a new habit of thought. Practice breathing with half the diligence you've practiced not breathing, and you'll find the salvation within you. I'll tell you how to start and how to continue. And if you practice faithfully for a month, you'll be completely convinced. Persist until you make full breathing a habit of thought, and you'll be a new creature. Sadness and melancholy, fears and struggles will cease forever. Energy, ambition, power, and joy will grow in their place. Your shrunken, stooped body will straighten. You'll stand with an extra curve in your lower back, instead of a hunch in your shoulders, like when you were a monkey. You'll walk with a spring in your step, instead of dragging your heels or shuffling. Your eyes will be bright and steady, ready to meet any gaze kindly. Your mouth will be straight instead of drooping at the corners, like in the old days of Lamentations. And your lips will be soft and sweet to kiss. Your skin will be fresh and clear, and your voice will ring like bells over calm waters, instead of being muffled in your throat and tinged with moaning or grumbling as before. In short, you'll be a new being, born again of the Spirit and ready to live, love, and thrive. Above all, make sure you have plenty of open windows in your bedroom, not just a crack at the top and bottom, but wide open. Use a screen if needed to avoid drafts. When you wake in the morning, throw everything open. Lie on your back, arms outstretched without a pillow, lightly covered, or better yet, uncovered. Relax from head to toe, close your mouth and breathe slowly and deeply in silence, filling your lungs as evenly as possible to the very bottom. Hold your breath as long as you can without strain. Then, see how slowly and gently you can exhale. Pay special attention to this, checking slowly and steadily how you can release the breath. Now take another breath if needed, as will likely happen if you're not used to deep breathing, and repeat the exercise. Do this 5 to 7 times. Take a few seconds to inhale, hold for 8, and exhale as slowly as possible. At first, you may not be able to hold your breath that long. Remember not to force it. Gently, easily, steadily. This is the first thing to do. Practice will lengthen your breath. At first, I couldn't inhale for more than 2 seconds, hold for 3, and exhale for 3 or 4. My heart pounded as if I had made a tremendous effort. It took me 3 months before I could take 5 successive breaths, as I've just described. At that point, I want to tell you that those 3 months of practice helped me vocalize. I had always struggled with interrupted breathing while singing. 4 years of vocal training hadn't helped much. During those 3 months of breathing practice, I had no piano and didn't sing a single note. Then a piano was brought to the house, and I started singing again. Despite 3 or 4 months without practicing a note, I sang as I never had before. I had never sung with such pleasure. It seemed I could sing any phrase, 2 or 3, with enough breath and with a freedom I had never known. Since then, I've never faced the old difficulty again. I'm convinced that systematic breathing exercises, even without vocalizing, are invaluable for singers. If you are sensible or slender enough not to wear a corset, repeat this exercise 2 or 3 times a day, always in the same position and with loose clothing. After retiring in the evening, repeat it again. Then command yourself to sleep peacefully, breathe deeply, and wake refreshed at your usual hour. If, despite all the doctors and remedies in the world, you wear corsets, still do the breathing exercises, but do them standing outdoors if possible, or by an open window. Get a new straight corset and let it out 1 or 2 notches more than the previous one. After putting it on, pull it down at the front and stand straight so that the back of the corset is where it should be. Then pull your shoulders back, lift your head, look like a gentle and graceful queen. Turn your eyes toward the sky and all that is good and breathe. Inhale love, power, brilliance, life, slowly, silently. Let yourself be moved and filled to every atom of your being, and fill your solar plexus with joy. Allow yourself to transform and then transform yourself. Lower your gaze, stretch out your hands in a gesture of blessing, and exhale silently, gently, slowly, pouring all your joys out for humanity. If you are a man, don't bother with the straight corset. Stand upright, chest forward and abdomen tucked in, and take long, strong gulps of sunlight. Let it energize your entire being, body and soul. Then exhale blessings onto the world. Take 2 or 3 breaths for each exercise. Practice several times a day, standing if you prefer, and pray morning and evening to breathe more deeply. If you have a special goal you wish to achieve, think of it as you perform these exercises. When you inhale, you are negative, receptive. When you hold your breath, you are prepared. When you exhale, you are positive, radiant, giving life to your sphere, to all those less developed than you, to your surroundings in general, to your business, to everything that concerns you. Then, as you exhale a sigh, stretch out your hands and give life to what you wish for. You can cultivate beautiful friends, an environment, money, thoughts of love, wisdom, anything you desire through this practice. I don't care whether you believe in it or not, just do it, and you'll find what I say is true. The solar plexus is the seat of emotion. Through proper exercise of the entire respiratory apparatus, you can gain such control of the solar plexus that anger, resentment, resistance, sadness, discouragement, and fear will become as foreign to you as the clumsy movements you made when learning to walk or eat. All these unpleasant emotions are due to cramps in the solar plexus. The exercises I have given you will release the plexus, and you will feel well. Continued practice will establish the habit of feeling well, that is, the habit of feeling free. Until you establish the habit of feeling well, you will, as you have so far, experience periods of depression. Gradually, these periods will become less intense and will dissipate more easily. When you feel yourself sinking into depression for any reason, break the pattern as soon as possible. Here's how to do it. Undress if possible. If not, loosen your clothing. Lie on your back, arms outstretched and without a pillow. Mentally free yourself from everything. Breathe slowly through your nose, taking a full breath. Hold it firmly for 1 or 2 seconds, then sharply force the breath upward into the top of your lungs. Hold it there for 1 or 2 seconds, then release all the breath downward as deeply as possible, mentally commanding your solar plexus to awaken. Hold the breath downward for 1 or 2 seconds, then let it flow gradually until your lungs are evenly filled again. Hold it for a moment, then see how smoothly and gently you can exhale the breath. Do this no more than 3 times per session, and only when feeling depressed. Then, Get up and move as if you're going somewhere, and you fully intend to get there. Take an interest in what you need to do next, rather than dwelling on your depression. You'll wonder what makes you feel so comfortable and filled with tranquility. I've used this practice, a personal discovery, for years to combat all kinds of depressions for every imaginable reason, and not once has it failed to completely change my feelings. Healing is guaranteed for anyone who practices it with intention. These instructions might seem complicated, but after 1 or 2 tries and a couple of rereads, they'll become almost automatic, so easy and delightful they'll feel natural. And their effects are profound. It doesn't matter if your heart beats a bit strongly the first time you try any breathing exercise. The same happens with any vigorous, new exercise. Stay calm and persevere. Very soon, your heart will join the overall sense of pleasure and remain as calm as a summer morning. No matter how vigorously you force the breath up and down, this correctly persistent exercise will benefit or cure functional diseases of the heart, as well as diseases of the lungs and throat. In fact, there is almost no illness in the human body that cannot be cured this way if the practice is maintained daily or more frequently over a sufficient period. Remember, the radiance of your solar center is to your body what the radiance of the sun is to plant life and the planets. These exercises establish the habit of radiance in your solar center. Chapter 4. Breathing Technique. There are breaths and breaths. If you are among those who breathe poorly, you might take thousands of breaths without doing yourself much good, simply because you're forcing a weak muscle to do the work of a great one. Perhaps some of you don't even know you have the finest valve in existence in your throat. You might not know it's there, and may never have heard its name, but I guarantee you've experienced various unpleasant sensations during your day by leaving that small valve open at the wrong moment. And you have probably missed out on many pleasant sensations by closing it at the wrong times. This small flap, which operates so smoothly that you are barely aware of its existence, serves only one purpose in ordinary life: to prevent anything denser than ozone from entering the air passage to the lungs. But the epiglottis is a very intelligent and obedient little servant. I've known singers who trained it to flutter quickly up and down, helping them produce staccato tones. On the other hand, I've known people who shamefully abuse this delicate member of the human body, designed for light, rapid movements and not for long, drawn-out tensions. Strangely enough, it is often the New Thought practitioners, the disciples of love, who abuse it the most. Of course, this is not their intention. Somehow these new thinkers have adopted the idea that there is great virtue in holding the breath for a long time. So they fill themselves with air, close this poor little flap, and hold it down until they blush. Their hearts pound fiercely, and then they make sucking noises. Have you ever been shopping in a large store and heard a terrible nasal wailing while reading the caption, "Don't laugh, pigs are dying"? And then you saw the pigs full of air squealing just like the bursting balloon. If you tightly squeeze a balloon, stretching its rubbery skin to the limit, it will either pop at the weakest point or send the plug flying, requiring more air to reinflate it. Well, that's exactly what improper breath holding does to the lungs. It stretches all the lung tissues and weakens the epiglottis. The natural, untrained tendency of the chest and abdominal muscles is to expel the air immediately. All these muscles contract around the lungs just as fingers close tightly around the neck of the balloon. And the entire lung tissue, along with the little flap, is stretched taut. This tension interferes with blood circulation, putting strain on the heart, and if there is a weak point in the lungs, hemorrhaging may occur. Furthermore, the lung tissue becomes flaccid and lazy. In regular breathing exercises, the key principle is that the lungs should never be forced to retain air, not even for the briefest of moments. This is a crucial aspect of effective and healthy breathing practice. The lungs, which are essential for sustaining life, are similar to a pair of bellows. They function by expanding and contracting as the muscular walls around them gently stretch and relax. However, it's important to understand that it's not the force of air being actively pushed inward that causes the expansion of the chest. Instead, it's the natural and harmonious outward expansion of the chest and abdominal muscles that facilitates the smooth, effortless drawing of air into the lungs. This process occurs without creating any undue pressure or tension inside the body, allowing the breath to flow freely. There is no resistance to the air entering the lungs, and as a result, the air enters easily, naturally, and without force. This effortless process ensures that the air circulates freely throughout the body, nourishing every cell, and it promotes the perfect oxygenation of the bloodstream. With each breath, the oxygen reaches the tissues, providing them with the life-sustaining energy they need. The ease and fluidity of the breath allow for the unhindered circulation of both air and blood, optimizing overall health and vitality. This is the fundamental principle behind effective breathing exercises. They do not force the lungs or the body to struggle or strain. Instead, they focus on cultivating ease, balance, and harmony in the way the breath is drawn and released. There is no need to consciously train the lungs to take in air, as they have a natural capacity to fill with every inhalation. The lungs will naturally draw in all the air they need as long as the surrounding muscles, the diaphragm, chest, and abdominal muscles, are functioning properly. As long as these muscles are free to move and contract in the proper way, the lungs will expand to their optimal capacity, filling with air effortlessly, and returning to their relaxed state with each exhalation. The key to healthy, efficient breathing lies in ensuring that the muscles are trained to facilitate this process. When the muscles are engaged in a natural, unforced rhythm, the lungs can function at their best, promoting the circulation of air and nutrients throughout the body. In essence, proper breathing is synonymous with proper muscle training. The muscles around the lungs and diaphragm must be conditioned to allow for smooth, unrestricted expansion and contraction. When the muscles are flexible, strong, and coordinated, the lungs can fully expand and contract with ease, maximizing their efficiency. This is why breathing exercises should be viewed not merely as exercises for the lungs, but as exercises for the muscles that govern the breathing process. As the muscles are trained, the lungs are allowed to expand and contract freely, enabling them to take in the optimal amount of air with each breath. Breathing exercises, then, should focus on muscle strength and flexibility, allowing the body to perform these essential functions naturally and without strain. There is no need to force the body into unnatural positions or hold the breath unnaturally long. Instead, the focus should be on ensuring that the muscles are open, relaxed, and capable of facilitating smooth, natural breathing. When you engage in breathing exercises, ensure that the flap, that is, the muscles involved in the breath, remain open and relaxed from the start to the finish of each breath cycle. This continuous openness ensures that the entire breathing process flows naturally and effortlessly, promoting the health and well-being of the entire body. In this way, the simple act of breathing becomes a dynamic and powerful exercise that enhances both physical and mental health. When practiced with awareness and intention, breathing exercises become a tool for overall vitality, increasing not only the intake of oxygen, but also the flow of energy throughout the body. Proper breathing can contribute to reducing stress, improving focus, and enhancing overall wellness. Through regular practice, you train the body to respond naturally to the rhythm of the breath, promoting a state of balance and harmony within. When practicing breathing, don't focus on the breath itself. Instead, concentrate on how evenly you can expand the chest and abdominal muscles outward, and how long you can keep them firm without applying pressure against the epiglottis. Also, observe how quickly, smoothly, and evenly you can contract these muscles again. Put your willpower into your muscles where it belongs and direct your attention to them. In this way, you'll learn to breathe properly. Always breathe through your nose and don't overdo it. If you find yourself gasping for air after a deep breath, it means you've made the phases of that breath, inhaling, holding, and exhaling, too long, and you've closed the flap. Try again, breathe easily, and breathe with purpose. Did you know that the difference between a man and a fool lies in the presence or absence of purpose? A person, man or woman, is defined by the depth, height, and firmness of their purpose. The fool breathes in short, irregular gasps, never fully filling their lungs. Their erratic little breaths build the 1,001 erratic notions that make up their expressed self. Breathing exercises without purpose are like any other purposeless effort. Beastly. Direct the power generated by your breathing in the direction you choose. Aim high and firmly. You can accomplish anything you set your mind to. Only hesitation can defeat you, unless, of course, you aim to subjugate another's free will. For example, once a man wrote to me expressing a desire to completely dominate his wife, seeking to make her obedient in every way, without exception. He spoke of how she had once been under his control, obedient and deferential to his will, yet over time she had transformed. She had broken free from his overpowering influence, gradually finding her own voice and standing up for her independence. This change, this shift in her autonomy, had been so profound that it left him desperate and perplexed. In his eyes, she had lost her place as an obedient wife, and he was determined to bring her back into submission. To him, her defiance was a challenge to his authority, and he could not bear the thought of her standing on her own terms. In his frustration, this man told me that he was willing to do whatever it took to reclaim control. He would breathe, he would speak affirmations, and he would hire the best healers and spiritual guides money could buy. He believed that through these methods, he could regain the dominance he once had. However, despite his willingness to go to great lengths, I knew that his approach was misguided. I knew that these actions would not bring him closer to his goal. His attempts would be nothing more than a surface-level effort, an illusion of progress. His aim, at its core, wasn't high enough. Had his goal been different, had he chosen a path rooted in genuine love, understanding, and respect, the situation might have unfolded differently. If he had chosen to approach his wife with kindness and tenderness, if he had been gentle enough to win her true devotion, he might have succeeded in building a deeper, more meaningful relationship with her. But even then, this would not have been an easy task. It would likely have taken him several lifetimes to develop the patience and humility necessary to truly win her trust and affection. The emotional maturity required for such a transformation would not come quickly or easily. It would require decades of self-reflection, growth, and sacrifice, and in his current state, that was simply beyond him. Alternatively, had he set his sights on more personal, external accomplishments, like becoming a successful artist, a renowned writer, or a prosperous businessman, there is no doubt in my mind that he could have achieved these goals. With enough dedication, hard work, and persistence, his dreams of success could have been realized. He possessed the intellect and drive to succeed in the world. If only he had channeled that energy into something higher and more productive. If his focus had been on personal growth, skill development, and self-mastery, he could have excelled. But his true desire was not for success or growth. It was the pursuit of control, a desire to dominate others. Unfortunately, the ones he sought to control were not helpless. They were wise enough to recognize their own worth, strong enough to stand up for themselves, and capable enough to govern their own lives. His wife had already proved her strength by freeing herself from his oppressive influence. She had broken free from his grasp, and no matter how hard he tried to manipulate the situation, no matter how much effort he put into his misguided methods, he would never regain the power he once held over her. She had learned the most valuable lesson. The power to control oneself is the greatest power of all. In the end, I returned his money, knowing that no amount of financial investment, no affirmation or breathwork would help him achieve what he truly wanted. His journey toward true self-improvement, the path toward mastering his own desires and impulses, was a much longer one. In my reply, I praised his wife for her courage in standing up to him, for recognizing her own worth, and for choosing her own path towards personal freedom. It was a choice that required immense strength and bravery, a choice that would serve her far better than any temporary submission ever could. Sometimes we find that the greatest challenge we face is not the control of others, but the mastery of our own desires, limitations, and imperfections. True power lies not in dominating those around us, but in cultivating inner strength, wisdom, and compassion. Only by rising above our own ego-driven desires can we truly live a life of purpose, fulfillment, and meaningful connection with others. Breathe with rhythm. It's said that a single dog trotting across a bridge can bring it down more than entire herds of draft horses and heavy loads, because the dog's movement lacks rhythm. Similarly, it's said that a man with a violin could bring down the Brooklyn Bridge by maintaining a constant vibration on the note to which the bridge is tuned. A rhythmic heart creates a powerful body. Rhythmic breathing transmits rhythm to the heart and brain, bringing all aspects of your being into harmony. By breathing steadily and deeply, the body, mind, soul, and spirit align and function as one. Harmony equals health. Harmony equals power. Have you ever witnessed the incredible strength that can arise from perfect synchronization? Imagine 4 individuals, all breathing together in slow, steady breaths, each inhalation and exhalation perfectly aligned. As they breathe, they tap into a deep, shared rhythm, and by the time they reach the final exhalation, they are able to lift a heavy person above their heads with only the tips of their fingers. It seems almost impossible, but the power of their synchronized breathing gives them the strength to accomplish this remarkable feat. Without those long, even breaths, without the rhythm and unity in their actions, such a powerful display of strength would not be possible. This demonstrates the profound connection between breath, energy, and physical power. Rhythmic breathing generates energy within the body, and this energy is not just physical. It transcends into mental and emotional strength as well. When we breathe in a controlled, steady manner, we create a flow of energy that nourishes the body and mind, allowing us to act with greater focus and clarity. During sleep, our breath is naturally deep and steady, which helps the body regenerate and recover from the irregularities and stresses of wakefulness. The breath's rhythm during sleep plays a key role in allowing the body to repair itself and restore balance, enabling us to wake up feeling refreshed and renewed, ready to face a new day. The respiratory system is finely attuned to our conscious thoughts and emotions. It responds to every shift in our mental and emotional state, gasping in awe when we are surprised or amazed, freezing in fear during moments of anxiety or danger, and sighing with excitement or relief. Our breath is a direct reflection of what we are experiencing in any given moment. Yet despite these fluctuations, during the quiet of the night, the body instinctively returns to its natural rhythm. When there are no external disturbances, the breath finds its steady pace once more, restoring a sense of peace and harmony throughout the entire system. Our respiratory system can be likened to the novice fingers of a child, delicate, full of potential, and yet not yet fully developed or refined. Like a child's fingers, which must learn to play an instrument or express beauty through art, our breath must also be trained in order to work effectively and intelligently. The potential of the respiratory system is infinite. It is capable of expressing beauty, harmony, and power in ways we may not even yet comprehend. But just as a child's fingers need practice and guidance to create something meaningful, so too does our breath need training to function at its highest potential. With consistent practice, the breath can become a tool of profound transformation. By learning to breathe rhythmically, deeply, and consciously, we can tap into a powerful source of energy that can help us achieve greater health, resilience, and vitality. Over time, the more we train our breath to be steady and balanced, the more we will find our bodies, minds, and spirits in harmony with the world around us. This harmony allows us to tap into an endless well of power that resides within each of us, just waiting to be unlocked through the simple act of conscious breathing. Even when the brain becomes erratic or lazy, just as each finger must learn to perform its task without reacting to impulses intended for others, the respiratory system must be trained to function calmly and steadily, regardless of what occurs in the mind or outside the body. This can only be achieved through persistent practice. The rhythmic action of the breath fills the body with power and prepares the heart for any eventuality. Those who teach their bodies to remain fresh, soft, and harmonious in their actions, no matter what arises, will eventually find that they no longer gasp for breath, sputter, faint, or collapse at the very moment when strength is most needed. Instead, they will approach each challenge with a calm, steady presence. The body, when conditioned properly, can maintain its equilibrium and resilience regardless of the circumstances. Whether faced with physical exhaustion, mental fatigue, or emotional discouragement, these individuals have mastered the art of maintaining balance. By training themselves to breathe evenly and deeply, they can avoid the overwhelming sensations of panic or depletion that often arise in moments of stress or adversity. When you are tired or discouraged, your body tends to breathe irregularly. Breathing becomes shallow, rapid, and uneven, leading to a feeling of disconnection and imbalance. This state can amplify the emotional and physical strain you are experiencing, making it even harder to regain composure. The key to overcoming this imbalance is simple. Take a step back and consciously reconnect with your breath. The process may be subtle, but it has a profound impact on your overall state of being. To remedy this, lie down in a quiet, peaceful space, free from distractions. Separate yourself from others, allowing for a moment of personal reflection. Close your eyes gently and turn your focus inward. Inhale slowly, not too slowly, but with ease and grace. As you breathe in, feel the air filling your lungs, nourishing your body and calming your mind. With each inhale, mentally affirm the words, "I am," while gently lifting your eyes beneath closed lids. Say these words slowly, clearly, with full awareness. Silently try to grasp the depth of their meaning. The infinite, the boundless presence that sustains all things, is not separate from you. It is you. You are an expression of the divine, just as the divine is an expression of you. We are all connected, united by the same essential force that moves through all life. In this moment, allow yourself to experience that oneness. Feel it resonate deep within your being. Hold the chest walls expanded for a moment, taking in the fullness of the breath and maintaining an open, relaxed throat. This expansion creates space within you, allowing the energy to flow freely throughout your body. Then, when it is time to exhale, do so slowly and gently. Lower your eyes as you breathe out, allowing the exhalation to be soft and controlled. As you release the air, mentally affirm with a steady rhythm and a downward inflection. Love, I am love. Allow these words to resonate deeply, feeling their truth in the very core of your being. With each exhalation, you are not just releasing air, you are releasing any negativity, tension, or emotional weight that no longer serves you. You are letting go of fear, doubt, and stress, and making room for the expansive energy of love to flow freely through you. As you continue this practice, feel the energy of the I am love consciousness filling every part of your being. Your body, mind, and spirit come into alignment with this powerful, transformative energy. The rhythmic cycle of your breath becomes the rhythm of your life, grounding you in the present moment and connecting you to the vast, infinite source of love and peace that exists within and around you. With each breath, you reinforce the truth that you are not just an individual, isolated from the world, but a part of a larger, harmonious whole. The love that you breathe in and exhale is not just for yourself, it is for the entire universe. In these moments of breathwork, you create a sacred space within yourself, a space where strength, peace, and love coexist in perfect harmony. Through this practice, you not only strengthen your ability to handle stress and adversity, but also cultivate a deeper sense of self-awareness and connection to the divine. Breathe rhythmically, allowing each breath to flow as slowly and deeply as possible, without strain, but with full, unhurried inhalations and exhalations. Let each breath be a smooth, gentle rhythm that calms the mind and soothes the spirit. As you continue this practice, focus on your breath and allow your body to relax with each inhalation. Continue this process until your mind gradually settles, leaving behind any lingering sense of discouragement, sadness, or mental clutter. In time, you will notice that all the negative emotions that may have clouded your thoughts begin to dissipate. The rhythm of your breath becomes a calming force, pushing away any feelings of tension or unease. Persist in your breathing, allowing the rhythm to become steady and natural. As you continue to breathe deeply, allow the profound consciousness of I am to begin to flow with your breath. With each inhale, breathe in the expansive essence of I am, feeling it fill your lungs, awakening every fiber of your being. As you exhale, radiate this consciousness out into the world, sharing the energy of your being with the universe. Continue this cycle, repeating it, until the flow of I am becomes an integral part of your breath, merging with the rhythm of your existence. Feel this powerful energy coursing through your lungs, nourishing both your body and mind. As you breathe deeper and more steadily, notice how the life force of I am begins to move further within you. With each inhale, feel the breath expanding and moving into your bloodstream, circulating through your veins and arteries, touching every part of your body. As your breath carries the essence of the I am consciousness, it invigorates and rejuvenates your cells, tissues, and organs, revitalizing them with fresh, powerful energy. The process of blood circulating through your body takes about 2 minutes to complete a full cycle. But in order to truly experience a shift in your emotional and mental state, it is necessary for this energy to circulate through your system several times. As the blood flows, it carries with it the vibrational frequency of I am, deeply imprinting this energy within your being. With each additional cycle, the power of your breath and the presence of I am begin to penetrate deeper into your consciousness, infusing every cell with peace, clarity, and serenity. The more cycles you complete, the more fully this energy permeates your body and mind, shifting you into a state of balance and harmony. As you continue breathing, you will notice a subtle yet powerful shift within. You begin to establish a rhythmic vibration of the I am love consciousness. This energy pulses in time with your breath, growing stronger and more expansive with each inhale. Feel this vibration gently filling every corner of your being, from the tips of your fingers to the depths of your soul. The presence of I am love flows through you like a gentle, unstoppable river, bringing with it profound peace, deep clarity, and a sense of connection to something far greater than yourself. This rhythmic pulse, the vibrational energy of I am love, becomes the very foundation of your reality. It is the force that begins to shape your thoughts, your actions, and your interactions with the world around you. The more you breathe in this energy, the more your entire system, your lungs, your heart, your solar plexus, and your brain, begins to align in perfect harmony with the infinite. These organs, which support and sustain you in every moment, begin to beat in unison with the powerful rhythm of the universe itself. As your internal system comes into alignment, you experience a profound deepening of awareness. No longer bound by the limitations of ordinary perception, you tap into a state of consciousness that transcends the mundane. You begin to access a boundless potential within, an infinite well of wisdom and strength that resides in the core of your being. This energy, this connection to the I am, becomes a guiding force, a beacon of light that illuminates the path ahead. As you breathe rhythmically, with each cycle of inhalation and exhalation, you are more fully attuned to the deeper currents of existence. You are no longer a passive observer of your life, but an active participant in the creation of your reality. Through your breath, you are embodying the vibration of I am love, bringing it into every aspect of your being and into every interaction with the world. The more you align with this energy, the more you become a vessel for peace, love, and harmony, and the more you unlock the limitless potential within. This alignment with the I am love consciousness does not just transform your inner state, it reverberates outward, influencing everything you encounter. It is the key to unlocking the full potential of your life, of creating a reality that reflects the deepest truth of who you are, an infinite being of light, love, and power, fully connected to the infinite. This rhythmic breathing and focused alignment with the I am consciousness is the most effective concentration exercise I have ever encountered. It is the key that unlocks the power within you to move from mere awareness, I am, to action, I do, in the world around you. When you embody this practice, you awaken the dormant forces within you, enabling you to manifest your highest potential. This is not just a mental exercise, it is a transformative experience that bridges the spiritual and physical realms. This practice is not only an antidote to negativity, it is the foolproof remedy for a wide array of destructive emotions: discouragement, restlessness, apathy, impatience, anger, malice, revenge, resentment, and clinginess. As you breathe in the I am consciousness and exhale love and abundance, you allow these negative emotions to dissolve, one breath at a time. This simple yet powerful practice offers a direct path to healing, allowing you to break free from the emotional turmoil that holds you back. In fact, I firmly believe this method is literally infallible for anyone who genuinely desires to heal themselves from negativity. If you are truly committed to transforming your emotional state, to releasing old patterns of resentment and frustration, this is the most effective way to do so. It does not require complex techniques or years of study. It only requires your willingness to surrender to the flow of breath and the alignment with the I am energy that resides within you. Over time, this practice will become second nature. You will find that your reactions to life's challenges change and that your emotional state remains steady, even in moments of stress or adversity. You will have cultivated an inner calm, a deep sense of peace, and a newfound power to meet life with love, resilience, and grace. The more you practice, the more profound the shift in your consciousness becomes. And as you breathe rhythmically, aligned with the infinite, you will embody the truth of who you are, a being of boundless potential, capable of transforming the world through the power of love and conscious action. Repeat this practice every time you encounter negativity, no matter how big or small the situation may seem. In the beginning, it may take 10 minutes or more to fully free yourself from the negative energy that clouds your mind and emotions. You may feel challenged, perhaps even frustrated, as you work to shift your mindset and break the grip of negativity. But don't be discouraged. Over time, as you continue this practice, you will notice that the time it takes to free yourself shortens significantly. Eventually, just 5 minutes will be enough to dissolve the negativity and restore a sense of calm and balance. The key lies in your consistency. If you learn to interrupt negativity at its earliest signs, before it can take root, you will find that over time, its power to affect you weakens. Negative emotions will no longer have the same strength over you because you will have trained yourself to respond with awareness, calm, and resilience. In those moments, breathe in the infinite I am. Let this life force fill you completely, renewing your mind, body, and spirit. With each breath you take, let go of the worries, doubts, and distractions. Exhale slowly and consciously, releasing any tension, and send out love, abundance, and all that you desire into the world. Let these positive energies flow freely through you. Remember, you are not taking these things for yourself. Rather, you are allowing them to flow through you, becoming a channel for the divine energy of the universe. Inhale deeply and affirm to yourself, I am love. Focus on the power of these words as they align your thoughts and actions with the highest vibration of love and positivity. Never allow yourself to become absorbed in the problem or negativity at hand. Instead, cut it off at its root by redirecting your attention to the infinite love that resides within you. With each inhale, let that love fill you more completely, and with each exhale, release anything that does not serve your highest good. Persist with this practice, even when it seems difficult. Know that every time you return to your breath, you are reinforcing a deep inner peace and an unwavering sense of balance. There is truly no limit to the good this practice will bring into your life. The more you engage with it, the more aligned you will become with your true self, the I am vibrations that emanate from within. You will find that the more you live in this space, the more you attract health, happiness, and success into your life, regardless of any other external circumstances or practices you may follow. It's important to remember that this practice is not something you do once and forget. It is a continuous daily commitment to your well-being and to your highest self. As you make it a part of your routine, you will begin to experience its powerful effects in every aspect of your life, from your health to your relationships, your career, and beyond. And as you go through your day, don't forget to straighten up, take a few slow, deep breaths, and reconnect with your inner peace whenever you can. No matter where you are or what you're doing, these moments of mindful breathing will bring you back to a place of calm and joy. There is life and joy in this practice, and with each breath you take, you are reaffirming your connection to the infinite, to the love that surrounds you, and to the power that resides within you. So keep breathing deeply and consciously, and remember, you have the power to transform any situation with your breath, your awareness, and your alignment with the I am presence. The more you practice, the more you will see how your thoughts, your emotions, and your reality begin to shift in profound and beautiful ways.